With Alabama's game being right around the corner, it is officially time for my Week 1 preview of Alabama against Miami, something that I've been looking forward to all offseason, and it is just right around the corner. But before we break all of this down, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me an A for Alabama or an M for Miami for who you think will win this game. Let me know what you think the end score will be, and ultimately, what are you most excited for seeing from this Saturday? If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content and you don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoy this content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions, though small, are massive to content creators such as myself in getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But with all that being said, let's hop straight into this because this is a game I think is going to be massively exciting. And first and foremost, I want to talk about the side of the ball that I think has a lot of intrigue around it for Alabama, and that's Alabama's offense against Miami's defense, because this is a matchup I think is going to be very exciting to watch. Alabama has to replace the lion's share of their production from last year's team. They are lucky to retain a just bevy of talented running backs. I've said in the past, I think that's the deepest running back room in college football, with 3 guys being former 5 stars, all vying for carries. That room is spectacular. But Miami's in a situation where they have a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball as well. They too have to replace 2 really impactful guys on their edge rushers, but Miami's in a position where they're looking to make a statement with this defense. The question is are they going to be able to capitalize on an inexperienced Alabama offense? And let's really dive into this, because Alabama, though the offense is going to be inexperienced, it is going to be unbelievably talented. Whether we're talking about Bryce Young, who was a 5-star coming out of high school, he has all the upside in the world. However, he's in a situation where not only are they breaking in new receivers across the board, aside from John Mechie, Slade Bolden got a little of experience last year when Jalen Waddle went down, and then Jamison Williams comes in. But still, you're looking at a situation where you have an inexperienced group across the board, you're replacing some pieces along the offensive line, and all of that just lends itself to an inexperienced group. So what do I think Alabama is going to be able to do offensively against a Miami unit defensively that's looking to make a statement? Now, I do believe Miami's going to be doing everything they can to make Bryce Young uncomfortable, coming from multiple different ways with the blitzes, just doing everything they can to keep him guessing where pressure's coming from, where am I safe from. That is going to be massively important for Manny Diaz and the Hurricanes. On the flip side, if you're Alabama's offense, I think the clear answer here is you're going to be relying on RPO. And the reason is because that's something Miami struggled with last year. Miami struggled with consistently containing the RPO, and Alabama is in a position now where, like I said, I do believe they have the deepest running back group in the nation. 3 former 5 stars, all vying for carries. It is spectacular, but now they also have a mobile quarterback. And when you have a mobile quarterback, plus that depth of running back, the RPO should be implemented, and I think we're going to see it to a high degree come Saturday. The reason isn't just relegated to a mobile quarterback and a deep running back room either. It's a simple way for O'Brien and the Alabama Crimson Tide to get Bryce Young into the rhythm of the game, get him some quick passes, some quick reads, just something to get his confidence up early. I think it only makes it all the better when it's something that Miami actually struggled with last season, because it's something that Alabama can really hone in on. This Alabama offense may have a lot to show, but remember, they have a lot of talent, and one of the things I've always said is if you have a spectacularly talented running back room and a really solid tight end room, you can really bring a young quarterback along much easier than if you don't, because they're crutches for the quarterback position to rely on. Alabama just happens to have both a phenomenally talented tight end room and a phenomenally talented running back room. So I'm looking for the Alabama offense to have quick passes to get the ball game going, to get the hands in the playmakers, and then ultimately the running backs to take control of this game, because Miami really struggled not only stopping the RPO, but more specifically, they really struggled stopping the run. And when you have as many talented running backs as Alabama does, you're just going to be pounding the rock all night long and getting Bryce eased into the game. But if we flip the script and look at Miami's offense against Alabama's defense, I think this is where most people are going to be watching, because Alabama's in a position where they're returning an unbelievably vaunted defense. They only lose 3 people, the biggest being PS2 out the secondary. Dylan Moses is a hit, Barmore's a hit, no doubt about it, but the depth at the front 7 is unbelievable, and Henry To'o coming in should pay massive dividends. And Miami's offense is headed by a guy that is not only unbelievably talented, unbelievably athletic, but he has got a lot of quality experience. He's seen a lot out of defenses, and as such, when you have a guy that is as talented as he is and can hurt you with his legs, but also has supreme experience, you have got to be on your toes, because he has that ability to really make a defense pay. Now, ultimately, if you're Miami, you want to play with tempo. You never want the Alabama defense getting comfortable, and you ultimately want to keep the game at your pace. Miami's a team that played with tempo last year. Rhett Lashlee showed that ability, and especially when you have D'Eriq King, that Miami offense becomes very deadly when they get into the flow of the game. If you're Alabama's defense, you're not looking to let them get into any sort of flow. And in fact, you're looking to utilize that pass rush, because even though Miami returns an offensive line this year, and it was just announced that Zion Nelson would be playing this Saturday per Manny Diaz, you're still lining him up against what could be the best pass rush in the nation when it's all said and done this year. The combination of Chris Allen and Will Anderson is going to be very tough to stop. So if you're Miami, even though your offense has really high upside when everything is clicking, you have to realize that Alabama's defense is going to be employing the Terminator and Chris Allen and all of that front seven to stop them. When they played NC State started the game off with some blitzes, and D'Eriq King and the Hurricanes offense were able to beat it. And NC State quickly moved away from the blitz. Well, the problem then came where they had a three-man rush against a mobile quarterback. They couldn't get to him. If they had everything covered, he'd just take off for a first down, but usually they gave him enough time to find an open receiver. Alabama will not be employing that same strategy. They're going to make D'Eriq King uncomfortable, and that should be the game plan from the start to the finish when you look at the collection of talent they have on defense. The Alabama Crimson Tide's defense is really, really, really solid from top to bottom, from the secondary to the front, and they're going to be looking to make D'Eriq King uncomfortable all night long. Ultimately, I think that the pass rush for Alabama is going to have success. I'm not sure how many sacks I'm going to be predicting, but I do think they're going to be making D'Eriq King uncomfortable because there are just so many waves of dudes they can send at you. But if you watched my top 5 games of this weekend, one of the things I talked about for Miami and Alabama was discipline for both teams. On Miami's front, you cannot try and beat the Crimson Tide if you're playing both Alabama and Miami. And what do I mean? Miami had a terrible habit last year of getting themselves in a good position only to kill it with penalty after penalty after penalty. For Alabama, the discipline comes with your front because D'Eriq King is so mobile. It's going to be very interesting to see how they're able to contain him. And because of that, discipline is key. Alabama has all the talent in the world to contain D'Eriq King. It's just about, can they stay disciplined in their approach? I'm looking at the linebackers. I'm looking at the pass rush, because if they stay in their lanes, ultimately that discipline will pay massive fruitions. Now, at the end of the day, Alabama is going to be breaking in a lot of new faces on this offense. So, if I'm just talking right now about some playmakers I'm really excited to see come Saturday, first and foremost, Bryce Young. I think that's the obvious answer for most Alabama fans. A freshman I'm very excited to see, and most of you have realized if you've been around the channel for a while, he's an individual I pegged before he ever got on campus to do massive things, and that's JoJo Earle. JoJo Earle in the slot position coming out of Aledo, Texas, has supreme quickness. I mean, his quick twitch is something that you really don't get a great appreciation for until you see it in person. I watched him in the state championship game get a pass, and the defense had him dead to right. His quickness is elite. His burst is elite, and he makes people look silly. I can't wait to see him in this game. We've heard a lot of praise levied upon him by the coaching staff. Very excited to see that. Another individual, Trey Sanders, coming back from injury, but really I could say the same thing about the entirety of the running back room. Jace McClellan, unbelievably talented individual, was JoJo Earle's teammate in high school, both of them coming from Aledo, just a little tidbit. But that whole running back room is going to be fantastic. And on defense, not to be boring, but if I had to give the name I was most excited to watch, it's going to be Will Anderson. I think I've pretty much, made that very clear from the first video I ever did on Will Anderson. I just think that he is going to be such an impactful player for Alabama. But I'm very interested in the secondary. Do we see Kool-Aid McKinstry? Do we see Terrion Arnold? Do we see Marcus Banks? All three guys have had really solid off seasons, and add in Kyrie Jackson as well. I can't wait for this game. I can't wait to hear what y'all are thinking. Hop down to the comments. Let me know. That's it. See ya.